Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different.
Yeah.
Usually, we take a stack of articles, maybe a new book, and we break it down. Today, we're looking at a text that claims to hold the source code for reality itself.
A pretty bold claim.
It is. We are diving into the Vishnu Purana, specifically a dialogue that took place thousands of years ago, but reads, and this is honestly how it feels, like a mix of quantum mechanics and high-end software architecture.
It is a fascinating document. It really doesn't read like a typical religious text, with commandments and rules.
No?
It reads like a manual, a technical manual for how the universe is built.
Exactly. And to set the stage, I want to take us out of the studio for a moment. The text opens with this very specific atmosphere.
Right.
We aren't in a temple. We are on the banks of a river at twilight. The sun is just dipping below the horizon, painting everything in that bruised orange and violet light. And we have two figures.
It's a classic setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very BBC documentary. You have the sage, Parashara. The sources describe him as a man who chose forgiveness over fire, which, well, it implies a history of immense power held in check.
Calm.
He's calm, still as the water. And opposite him is Maitreya.
And Maitreya is the student.
He is, but he's not some bright-eyed freshman. The text says his mind is heavy with the weight of existence.
That's a very specific kind of anxiety.
It is. He isn't worried about his job or his relationships. He's worried about the actual structure of reality. He feels small. He feels the crushing weight of the unknown.
I think we've all had that 3 a.m. moment, staring at the ceiling, thinking, what is all this? What am I even doing here?
Precisely. And as the light fades, Maitreya asks the catalyst question. He looks at his master and asks, "Master, what is this world actually made of? Is it a dream? Is it a machine? Or is it something else entirely?"
And that is the question we are unpacking today. I want to be clear to you listening. This isn't just a history lesson. We're treating this as an exploration of the operating system of the universe. So Parashara answers him. And I was surprised by where he starts. He doesn't start with a god creating the world, does he?
No, he doesn't. And that is what makes this text so unique. He just refuses this simple answer. He doesn't say, a creator snapped his fingers and there was light. He points further back.
To what?
He points to a state of existence called Brahman.
Brahman. Now, I've heard this term thrown around, in yoga classes, usually meaning God or the universe. But the source material here gets really specific about what it looks like.
Or rather, what it doesn't look like.
Right.
Parashara describes Brahman before creation as an ocean without a shore.
An ocean without a shore.
Imagine that.
Right.
Water extending infinitely in every direction. But it's completely dark. There's no wind to ripple the surface. There's no light to reflect off it. And this is the hardest part for our modern brains to grasp. There's no concept of time.
No before or after.
None.
Hold on, that just sounds like a void. That sounds like empty space. How is that different from just nothingness?
That is the crucial distinction Parashara makes.
Yeah.
It's not empty.
It's not.
It's full. It's pure silent potential. Think of it like a dark room filled with gunpowder.
Okay.
It's quiet. It's still. But it isn't empty. It's loaded with the potential for an explosion. It is everything that could be, just sleeping in a state of perfect balance.
Okay. I like that image. A room full of gunpowder. Or maybe a compressed spring. It's quiet, but it's a high-tension quiet.
Exactly. And Parashara explains that within this silent ocean, within this gunpowder, 3 specific forces were waiting. The text calls them distinct aspects of reality, but I like to think of them as the 3 gears of God.
The gears. Okay, let's break these down. Because according to the notes, these aren't just ancient myths. These are the components of us right now.
They are. The first gear is Purusha.
Purusha. What is that?
Purusha is the spirit. But spirit is a loaded word. A better translation for a modern audience is probably the observer.
The observer.
And to make this personal, Purusha is the conscious you that is listening to this deep dive right now. It is the part of you that is aware.
So, not my thoughts. Not my body.
No. It's the thing watching your thoughts. The thing feeling your body. It is the witness.
Okay, so gear 1 is the observer. What's gear 2?
Gear 2 is Prakriti. This is matter. This is the stuff.
The physical.
The physical. The atoms in your phone, the wood of your desk, the biological cells of your brain.
So we have the observer, Purusha, and the observed, Prakriti. Spirit and matter. That seems pretty standard for dualistic philosophy.
It is, but here is where the Vishnu Purana throws a curveball. It says that for eons, Purusha and Prakriti just sat there.
Doing nothing.
together in the dark, doing absolutely nothing.
But why? If you have the spirit and you have the matter, shouldn't they just interact? Shouldn't the universe start?
You would think so.
Hmm.
But the text uses this brilliant analogy. It compares them to a car and a driver. You have the vehicle, that's Prakriti, matter. It has the engine, the wheels, the potential for speed.
Right.
And you have the driver, Purusha, spirit, sitting right there behind the wheel.
Okay. But the car is cold. The driver's just sitting there. Why?
Because they're missing the third component,
The key.
the ignition key. And that third gear is Kala.
Kayla. That means time, right?
It does. But in this cosmology, time isn't just a way to measure hours or minutes. Time is a force. It's the catalyst. It is the vibration that disturbs the balance.
So you have the driver, spirit, and the car, matter, sitting in the dark, and then Kayla turns the key.
Precisely. The moment time enters the equation, the chemicals of God start to react. The engine roars to life. Spirit becomes entangled with matter.
The driver hits the gas.
And suddenly that silent, shoreless ocean is shattered. Ripples begin to form. The universe begins to move.
I love the mechanics of it. It's not magic. It's a system. You need the observer, the material, and the catalyst of time. So the engine is running. We have what we could call the cosmic startup.
Yes, the system is live.
And this leads us to the part of the text that I have found the most, well, mind-bending. Because I usually think of the universe as rocks and gas and explosions that eventually cooled down and made planets. And then billions of years later, brains appeared.
The materialist view. Matter first, mind second.
Right. But Parashara seems to be saying the exact opposite.
He is. The Vishnu Purana teaches that the universe is mental before it is physical.
Mental before physical. Unpack that for me. Because that sounds impossible. How can you have a mind before you have a brain?
This is where we need to introduce the concept of Mahat.
Mahat.
Mahat translates to the great principle, or the cosmic intellect. To understand this, we have to look at how we build things in our world. Think about a skyscraper.
Okay.
Before a single shovel hits the dirt, before the concrete is poured, does the building exist?
Well, no, not physically.
But it exists in the mind of the architect. It exists as a blueprint. It exists as a set of mathematical calculations and structural logic. The idea of the building is complete and perfect before the physical building ever appears.
Okay, I see where you're going. Or like software.
Exactly like software. You cannot have an app running on your phone, the physical manifestation of pixels and light, unless the code, the architecture, has been written first.
So Mahat is the universe's operating system.
It is the architectural plan that dictates how energy becomes matter. The logic of a star had to exist in the cosmic intellect before the physical star could ignite.
That is a massive shift in perspective. So Mahat is the code.
Mahat is the source code.
But how do we get from cosmic source code to a rock? How does a thought become a thing?
The text mentions a ladder of energy, right?
It does. And this is a process called densification. Imagine steam.
Okay.
Steam is water, but it's high energy, invisible, expanding. If you slow that energy down, if you cool it, it becomes liquid water. Visible, fluid.
And if you cool it further?
It becomes ice. Hard, solid, brittle. It's the same substance, just at different rates of vibration.
So the universe is cooling down.
In a metaphysical sense, yes. It starts as Mahat, pure cosmic intellect, high frequency. Then it steps down a rung on the ladder to become ahamkara.
Ahamkara.
This translates to ego, but not ego like arrogance. It means the sense of I-ness, the separation. It's the moment the code realizes I am separate from the rest of the code.
So we go from universal mind to individual identity. Correct. And from that sense of identity, the energy slows down even further to become the senses, the ability to perceive. And finally, it freezes completely into the 5 elements we know: space, air, fire, water, and earth.
So Earth, the physical stuff we are standing on, is just frozen cosmic thought.
That is exactly what the source claims. We are walking through the compiled code. We are standing on the bottom rung of a ladder that starts in the mind of the divine.
That is a lot to process. We've gone from a silent ocean to a running car to a cosmic operating system turning into ice. But I want to pause the physics lesson for a second and go back to the riverbank.
Right.
Because Maitreya, our student, he isn't just taking notes, he's troubled.
He is. And this brings us to the emotional core of the text.
Right. Because if this system is so perfect, if it's designed by this cosmic intellect, Maitreya asks the obvious question, why is it hurt? Why do things die? If the divine is one, why is there destruction?
It is the problem of suffering, the problem of entropy. Why build a beautiful sandcastle just to let the tide wash it away?
And Parashara's answer here is famous. He talks about the 3 masks.
Yes. He uses a theatrical analogy. He tells Maitreya to imagine a play. In this play, there are 3 distinct roles, but, and this is key, there is only one actor.
One actor, 3 masks. Who are they?
The first mask is Brahma. This is the mask the actor wears when it's time to create.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang. The sprouting of a seed, the writing of the code.
Okay. The creator.
The second mask is Shiva. This is the mask worn to dissolve.
The destroyer. And that's the one people usually get hung up on. That's the scary one.
It can be terrifying. But think about the software analogy again. If you're updating an app, what do you have to do to the old version?
You have to delete it. Or at least override it.
Exactly. You cannot have version 2.0 without dissolving version 1.0.
Yeah.
Shiva isn't malice. Shiva is the necessary force of recycling. It is the autumn that clears the leaves so spring can happen.
The dismantling of the stage set so the next act can begin.
And the third mask is Vishnu. This is the mask worn to preserve. It represents the current state.
The status quo.
Yes, it's the force that holds the atoms together right now. It is the gravity keeping the planets in orbit. It's the run command that keeps the software glitch-free for as long as possible.
So creation, destruction, preservation. But Parashara's point is that they aren't 3 different gods fighting each other.
No, that is the common misconception. Parashara is very clear. Beneath the mask, the actor is the same. The energy that destroys your life is the same energy that created it.
It's just a different phase of the operation.
It's a shift in function, not a change in nature. Precisely. And for Maitreya, this is the comfort. He realizes that death isn't an error in the code.
It's a feature of the system.
It is.
So bringing this down to earth, we aren't sages. We aren't sitting on a riverbank in ancient India. We're in traffic. We have deadlines. We have stress. What does this cosmology, Purusha, Prakriti, Mahat, the masks, what does it actually mean for you listening to this?
I think it offers a radical shift in identity.
How so?
Well, look at how we normally live. We feel like we are in the world.
Right.
We feel like tiny, fragile entities navigating a hostile environment.
Me versus everything else.
Right. We're the driver,
Yeah.
and the world is just chaotic traffic trying to crash into us. But if you take Parashara's explanation seriously, that boundary dissolves. You aren't in the world. You are of the world.
You are a manifestation of the same source code.
Exactly. Go back to the gears. The Prakriti, the matter that makes up your body, is the same ancient matter that makes up the stars and the river. It's the same car.
Yeah.
And the Purusha, the observer inside you, is a spark of that same witnessing spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't a stranger here. You are the universe experiencing itself.
It changes how you look at a cup of tea, doesn't it?
It does. That tea isn't just a drink. It is Prakriti, energized by time, held together by the preservation mask of Vishnu and observed by Purusha.
Wow.
It turns the mundane into something sacred. It invites you to see the architecture behind the reality.
To see the code behind the screen.
Yes. And once you see the code, you stop being so terrified of the glitches. You understand it's part of the design.
That is a powerful place to stand. To feel like you belong to the architecture. But before we wrap up, there is one last image from the source text that I really want to touch on. It's a little obscure, but it's fascinating. It talks about the cracking of the cosmic egg.
Ah, the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb.
Yes. And the description is wild. It suggests that the physical planets were essentially incubated in a mental shell before they were born.
It circles right back to the idea of Mahat. The thought must protect the potential until it's ready to be physical.
It made me think about creativity. Or even business.
In what way?
Well, if the macrocosm, the universe works this way, maybe the microcosm it works the same way. We all have these eggs, these ideas, these projects, these versions of ourselves that are currently just mental.
Trapped in the shell of our mind.
Right.
That is a beautiful connection. We are all walking around with Hiranyagarbha's golden wombs inside us. Blueprints that are waiting for the right amount of time to crack open.
And maybe that's the takeaway. We are waiting for our own kala, our own ignition key.
And perhaps the listening to this, the understanding of the structure, is the ignition key.
The moment you realize you are the architect, not just the bricklayer.
Precisely.
We're going to leave you with that thought. Look at the world around you today, the buildings, the trees, the chaos, and try to see the mental shell it came from. Try to see the thought before the thing.
And remember, you are the observer. You are the one watching the play.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.